and we will get started tonight. Yeah, it's like, nope, not going to have that door being closed. I'm going to put you in your room if you don't hush now. No barking. What are you laughing at? He's going to show up on your doorstep.
You telling him no barking.
He's going to show up on your doorstep, and then the last laugh's going to be on you, lady.
Okay. Like, I had both of mine with their heads perked up, and I was telling them to shh.
I bet he did. All right, well, we're going to jump in and get started tonight. Congratulations for being on tonight and for getting through your week. I know I've talked with all three of you today, and you did have some struggles in getting all your homework done. Jamie, I loved your idea of last minute. I didn't even ask you if I could share it. I just did. I thought it was awesome. You know, there's always a way to get something done. You know, if your will is there, there's always a way to get something done. And I love the resourcefulness that you used in that. You know what? I am not going to give up, even though I haven't done it, and today is the day. I won't give up. So how did that go? Did anybody try Jamie's sharing the mini catalog virtually?
I did. After doing Karen's TNT, I sent out, and that's why I was coming on a little bit late, because I don't know what I did, but then my computer went berserk. But I sent out 6 to 6 people, so we'll see, you know, what happens. I haven't heard anything back yet, so.
Okay, well, good.
But I thought that was a good idea. I never even thought of that.
I know, I loved it. So
yeah, thank you.
Okay, good, Jamie. What were your results? How did that go?
I got 2 responses back. One was a former host. She said, I'm at work right now. I'll get back with you. And the other was a high school friend who said, oh, I love that new grater. It looks like my old salad shooter. She said, I'm going to have to talk to you about that. And so, yeah.
Is she local, or would that be a virtual show?
No, that would be she's in Raleigh, so it'd be a virtual show.
Okay, good job. And then how many others did you send it to?
Altogether, I think it went out to 25 people. So I overdid it a little bit, but I figured with virtual, you got to do double anyway.
Yes, so. I agree. Good. Awesome. Nicole, did you try that?
Yes.
Good. How were your results?
I haven't got any results yet. I literally just did it about 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
But I did put it on my VIP page too.
Oh, good. Good. And that's something you can continue to do. I just never heard of that. Carla, have you thought of that before? I love that with the mini catalog challenge. You know, just one more way to reach out to people and get some results. So I would say continue that, as well as your physical mini catalogs throughout the week, so that you are reaching out to people. Now let's talk a little bit about your contacts last week. I know that some of you did not do the mini catalog thing, but did you have contacts throughout the week with other people? How did those go? Everybody share a success you had in the area of contacts last week.
My show in April's holding because I got a hold of my host.
Perfect. And you know what? That's how you keep those shows on your calendar, is by communicating with your host, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Great job having a success. Who else? Hey, Kelly, welcome. Who else had a success with their contacts last week? Carla. Okay, Carla.
I was doing a customer care follow-up for one of my who got a quick cooker, make sure that she was using it. And she said, oh, I'm glad you called me. She placed a $90 order for 3 large boil over no mores.
Interesting.
So,
and you know, curious, Wonder if she would have picked up the phone and called you.
Right. I doubt it. Right.
Probably not. She would have thought about it. Like I always say, I get these catalogs in the mail. I don't know about y'all, but I mean, daily I get catalogs, and I always sit down and go through and even dog ear the pages. And then a month later, I end up throwing the catalog away, and I never order anything. But if the person that sent me that catalog called me, I would probably go hog wild. So that's a perfect example.
I'll be sending you one tomorrow.
You'll be sending me
I'll call you.
that. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'd have to give somebody an A+ if they did that. Boy, you did your homework. You were listening. Good job. And we're not always gonna see those results, but how nice was it that you took the time to follow up with somebody that purchased a $240 product and said, how you liking that product? And it's pretty sweet when you see those rewards come through like that. Awesome. Good. Who else had success?
I had a fundraiser last month, and afterwards, which I had quit doing, and so I started with the fundraiser. I sent out thank you notes to everybody that purchased something, the Pampered Chef thank you notes, and just wrote in it, thank you for supporting the fundraiser. If I can be of any service, please contact me, blah, blah, blah. And then put my business card in there.
Good.
And a lot of the people are from where my daughter worked. And she said that, she told me this evening when she came that several of the people had commented that they had gotten my thank you card, which she didn't know anything about because I didn't talk to her, that they had never gotten a thank you card from direct sales person. And they just, she said, I'm just telling you, I got a thank you card, and that was nice because I never get any from direct sales people.
Yeah. And guys, that's the kind of response you're going to get when you do stuff like that. When you take that extra step, do you think anybody's ever going to say, I can't believe that Pampered Chef lady sent me a thank you note? No, it's never going to get anything but a positive response. So good for you for taking that extra step. And I think it was Nicole that I was talking to today saying, sometimes you do these things and you think, okay, I keep doing what you tell me to do, and I'm not seeing those immediate results. But what you're doing is you're building that foundation. And when you build that foundation, you're building a following and a customer base. So, Dixie, you may not get a phone call tomorrow from one of those people, but in 6 months when they say, you know what, I need a wedding gift and I'm buying somebody a set of cookware. Oh, Dixie is that Pampered Chef person that was so nice and took time to write me that thank you note. That's what happens. So good job. Good. I'm getting ready to beat that dog. He is like a chicken. He hears something outside that he's barking at.
I'm going to come eat him if he gets mine barking.
And I can't go on mute, so y'all just going to have to listen to it. Nicole or Kelly, any successes as far as your contacts went last week?
The two-way contacts that I did, I guess the week before last. Earlier this month, I had talked with Lori and told her I was going to try something different. So I did 17, I think, of the two-way contacts. I got 3 parties booked out of it.
Yay!
Out of 17.
That's a great result.
One of those I just closed. That was awesome. I was pretty shocked. One of them was a dud. I had one order. But one of them, it was a pretty large party. hold on one second, guys. Sorry, I have a child going to bed. One of them, when I closed it, it was a large party, or fairly large party, and I got 2 more bookings off of that one, and one of those is a potential consultant.
Wow.
She's very seriously considering it. She needs some extra money, so
So let me ask you something, Kelly. Do you think you'll continue to make those two-way contacts?
I probably will now. That was so far out of my comfort zone to do that.
Yep.
I really was my anxiety was through the roof doing them. And then it turned out so well. I went, okay, maybe I will.
Yep. Good. That is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. All right, Nicole, you want to share anything?
I've had some success from like live videos, and people actually reaching out saying how they like them and they like certain products. So I think I'm going to look more on that. And I have a potential quick cooker video.
Yay. Good job. So just another way to reach out, is to be a presence, and let people know that, Pampered Chef is part of who you are and what you have to offer them. So good job. I'm going to challenge you to do those 2 things every week. The 10 mini catalogs, whether you do the physical mini catalogs out and about, or you take Jamie's idea and do the virtual. But I'm going to recommend to you what I recommended to Jamie. Don't just send that mini catalog, but send that with a call to action. With her, I said, send it to them and say what one product is intriguing to you. And you'll go into a drawing for a free Season's Best Cookbook. Something that gives them a call to action. So you're going to get a response from them, and then you can have that two-way conversation with them. That's your goal in all of this, is that you get that two-way conversation, because you can't sell a booking or a product or the business if you don't have that two-way conversation. So I'm going to challenge you every week throughout this program to really strive to give out 10 of those mini catalogs, and then also strive for your 20 two-way contacts a week. Those are 2 things, guys, that are going to build your momentum and really give you that strong foundation in your business. So those 2 things we're going to continue to do. And then I wanted to share with you, did Lori share last week the chart that showed the difference between 2 bookings per party and 1 booking per party?
Yes.
She did. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure she had shared that. So everybody knows how important it is that when you go to those shows that you're getting bookings from those shows. Okay. That's what's going to help you build that business. So continue to work on that. So let me see this, and I'm going to take notes on this. Who has shows on their calendar from now through the end of April? Dixie, what do you have between now and the end of April on your calendar? You're on mute.
Okay.
There you are.
No, I don't have any shows other than that one I was talking to you about today.
Okay. And what is your goal?
8 shows in April.
Gotcha. Said it out loud.
I know I did.
Now you got to do it.
I know I am.
Okay. All right, Jamie, how about you? What do you have? You have 1. And what's your goal?
5.
5. Okay. Nicole.
Sorry. I have 2 and my goal is 4.
Okay. Nice. All righty, Carla. Did we lose Carla? How
She's
about
on mute.
Kelly?
My goal, or I have right now 3.5. I'll call it a half because he's not real sure when he's planning on booking it.
Okay.
Just sometime in April. So I'll call it 3.5. And my goal has been one party a week. So I'm pretty much right there where I wanted to be.
Perfect. Good. And I would recommend, Kelly, some insurance. So you may want, if you really want to do one a week, you may want to book 6 shows. So that way, if you have cancellations or you have those bombs like you were talking about, you've got something else that will kind of fill in that spot.
Okay.
The worst that could happen would be that you'd have 6 shows, right?
Right.
Good. All right, Carla, did you come back or are you still missing? Okay. All right, well, we are going to move on. So those are your goals. I will check in with y'all on that. And I'm going to really highly recommend that you work to get at least halfway to your goal by the end of this week. So at least halfway to your goal by the end of this week is something that I would recommend working on. Today's Tuesday, so you got lots of time to do that. Tonight, I want to talk about host coaching because now you know what to do to go find those bookings. You know what your goal is. But the next step is once you get those bookings on your calendar is that you truly work with those hosts. And you all know we talk about host coaching all the time. It is one of the most important parts of our job. In fact, a friend of mine that used to be in the business said host coaching is where we make our commission. We just go to our shows to pick it up. So we're really making our money in our host coaching. And host coaching is what? Who can tell me? What is host coaching?
Working
Connecting
together.
with your host.
Working with your host. Okay. Anybody else have anything different they want to share? I always like to say host coaching is a partnership with your host. It is not about me telling my host what to do. It is about me partnering with my host so that we both meet our goals for that show and that show is a great experience for everybody involved. Not only do you want it to be good for you, you want to make it worth your while as far as your commission goes. Your host wants lots of free products. She does not want to clean her house and buy ingredients and have a bomb or dud show. She wants to have a great show, and even virtual shows. You know, they don't want to take their time and not have a great show, so they do want to have a good show. And the guests at that show want to have a great experience. If they're taking time out of their life to come to that show, they want to get something out of it. They want to have fun. They want to learn something. They want to enhance their cooking skills. So host coaching truly is working to enhance that experience for everybody that's involved. So a couple of things you want to talk with your host about. Again, not just dictating to them, this is what you need to do to have a successful show, but to really talk with them and build their enthusiasm. Because what I like to say is, how many of you have ever been to a great restaurant? Anybody ever been to a really good restaurant? What do you do when you go to a really good restaurant and you have an amazing meal?
Leave a good tip.
Leave a good tip.
Talk about it to everybody.
You talk about it to everybody. And when you have a host, don't you want them to talk about that show to everybody? Because that's what's going to help that show be successful, is that she's talking about it to everybody, and she's talking about it with enthusiasm and excitement. So our job is to keep that host excited about that show. So some questions that you may want to ask your host as you're talking to them and partnering with them, ask them what they loved about the party. So if you book them at a cooking show, you can say, what did you love tonight? That's going to keep them excited and engaged. Again, if it's a virtual show, you can say, what did you love about this virtual show? It not only is going to be information for you, but the more she talks about what she loved, the more excited and enthusiastic she's going to be. Another question you can ask is, what products are you most excited about? What's on your wish list? Michael Reeves, and most of you know him, he did a training call several years ago, and he said his very first call with his host, he wants to know what their wish list is. Because if they have a goal, something they're working towards on that show, they're going to stay more excited and more engaged. So he wants to know on that very first call, what's your wish list? What are you hoping to get out of this show? Because I think, again, if they're excited about a specific product, it's going to help keep them excited. Next thing is to start brainstorming with them who they're going to invite. Gosh, Jamie, tell me some of your friends that you'd like to invite to your show. Who do you think is going to love coming to a Pampered Chef show? And that gives you the opportunity to help them brainstorm too. Who loves to eat? Who loves to cook? Who hates to cook and would like some inspiration in the kitchen? Who has a huge family that they have to feed every night? Give them those suggestions so that they can brainstorm who they're going to invite to that show. Another important part of host coaching is that you share the importance of a personal invite and how to personally call people and invite them. Now, typically, guys, when you're host coaching, what type of inviting are you and your host doing for their shows?
A personal text picture.
A personal text picture. Okay, good. What you got there? Okay, you're good. Anybody else? What are you using as an invite, a way for your host to personally reach out to people?
I do a personal picture also.
A personal text picture. Okay, good. And I will tell you, for about 2 years now, I have not used paper invitations. Occasionally, I'll have a host that is not a tech person at all. They don't do Facebook. They don't really text people. And I'll print out exactly what I would text them for them to send out. But for the most part, I'm finding that text is easy. So they're more likely to send that to more people than they would a handwritten invitation. Even a printed invitation, because they still got to go to the post office. They got to put a stamp on it and go to the post office. But the texting is quick and easy. And one of the things that I just shared with Carla and with Nicole was how you can actually text out a screenshot of the show page. So like when they click on the link for the show, like on a cell phone, it comes up with an invite. But if you send that link, they have to click on it to be able to see the show information. So I'm going to the link, screenshotting it, and sending that to my host. So just a quick and easy little invitation. And I've been having a lot of luck with that. But find a system that works for you. I was telling Nicole earlier, Canva is a great platform for creating invitations. But anything that's quick, it's simple, and that it's eye-catching, I think is important. So really work on how they can personally reach out to people. And I always tell them, you want to reach out to people in as many different ways as you can. Don't just rely on the text. Don't just rely on the Facebook invite. Really try to reach out to people in as many different ways as you can. Another important part of host coaching is to ask your host, what's the best way to communicate with you? What are y'all finding when you're doing your host coaching? What are you finding to be the easiest way to communicate with your host?
Text.
Text. Or most of them want to talk with you mostly through text?
Facebook message.
Facebook message.
Yeah.
Okay. Are any of you doing actual phone calls with your host?
I do one.
You do one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was going to say. I think you definitely want to at least talk to them one time, if not more than that. But I do find that a lot of times it's easier for people to text this day and time. So you can text, but if you can talk to them at least once. My goal is to talk to them at least twice. And most of the time I'm talking to them 3 times. So the first time is just to reconfirm our show date and get all their information so I can get their packets to them. The second time is to kind of go through their show planner and kind of explain how the show's going to work. Find out about their wish list, their goal for the show, talk about invitations, those kinds of things. Hey, Bianca. Glad you're here. And then the third call is just a final check-in a couple of days before. So if you can get in more than one call, that's great. But I would say at the bare minimum, you want to talk to people at least once. Now, those of you that are doing virtual shows, are you finding virtual show host coaching to be much different than cooking show host coaching? Who's doing virtual shows? Bianca, do you do all virtual?
I do all virtual, but I do want to get into cooking one day.
Okay. When you coach your virtual host, are you talking to them on the phone, or are you doing everything through text, Facebook message?
In the beginning, I do a lot of texting until we get more comfortable, and then I offer them to call me or I call them.
Okay.
And it's a good 90% of the time we actually have that actual phone call.
Oh, good. And do you feel like that you have better results from your shows when you talk to them in person, or do you not see
I do, yes.
Okay.
I see a big difference. And also connecting with the guests as well and developing that relationship. Mm-hmm. So I even talk with the guests on the phone as well.
Oh, you're talking with the guest on the phone as well?
Yes. So we become friends on Facebook and then developing that connection.
Mm-hmm. Good for you. All right, great. Perfect. So really, guys, that's what host coaching is all about. Host coaching is about making that connection with your host, building that relationship with your host, and keeping their enthusiasm and their excitement high, because they are really doing that work for you. They are the ones that are out there inviting their friends, and you are kind of that link between them and their friends and keeping that excitement level high. So who has questions or concerns about host coaching? Do you feel confident about your host coaching abilities?
I have a question. I know one of our previous trainings, we had, I think it was Marcy Rose, talked about the packs where they had pre-made posts with host tips.
Uh-huh.
I tried finding those, but I don't know if I didn't complete the training. But where can we find those? I know you showed us once.
Do you have access to all the virtual party documents, Bianca? In marketing imagery?
I didn't see those in particular. No.
Okay. You may not have done the party experience training. You have to do that for that to come up. I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to share my screen so you can see that.
And you said we have to do both the virtual and the live cooking to get that. Okay.
Yes, you do. Let's see if I can get over there, and I was going to show you, because this was news to me. There was some stuff over here that I honestly was not familiar with. So I'm going to show all of you this. So when you go into marketing imagery and you go down to party themes, if you've done the in-person and the virtual party experience training, you'll see this virtual button. If that is not there, you need to go back to PCU and make sure you do the in-person and the virtual experience training. It's a series of videos that you watch. And after the videos, I know the first time I did it, it did not recognize that I had done it. So you just need to make sure that you're getting credit for doing that. But once you've done that, when you go into virtual, guys, can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe marketing imagery is not going to work tonight. But when you go into virtual, there is a section that says host coaching. And when you click on that, there are tons of little host coaching posts that you can send to your host. So the work is done for you. There is also a virtual show planner there. I had no clue that was available. And it makes a lot of sense because it's a little different than a cooking show planner. So that's there and available for you to print off and use for your virtual parties. Yeah, sorry, it's just spinning tonight. They've had some trouble with marketing imagery, but that's where it is. If you go into marketing imagery and go to the virtual, you'll see a section that says host coaching. So click there and you'll see all those little host coaching posts that you can send out. And it's things for your host to post in the party. Here it is. Host, coach, and post. Host, post, library. So tons and tons of options there. And there's the show planner right there that you can print out. Here's a host, coach, and checklist for your virtual host. And I know we were talking about this last night, how Lori has a piece of paper where she keeps notes on her virtual shows. So here is that information for you. You can print this out and you've got everything right there at your fingertips. You know, how many guest orders, what were the sales totals, future bookings. So really everything is right there for you. There's also a host coaching checklist, guys, for your cooking shows. So if you're wondering what is it that I need to talk to my host about, go over there and grab one of those host coaching checklists. But the thing that I want you to take away from tonight's call is that it is your job to partner with your host. It is not your host's job to call you. If you have ever hosted with any other direct sales company, you probably have not experienced host coaching. Does anybody have a story about hosting with another direct sales company where they did not do a good job at coaching you and helping you have a successful show? Carla?
Oh Lord, I did a marriage coach lady that was horrible.
They didn't call you. They didn't tell you what to do.
No, I knew absolutely nothing by the time we got started in on her party. The only thing I knew is it was a Mary Kay party.
I find that. Yep. Carla, how about you? What's your story?
I was having a Tupperware party. It's actually a friend of mine. We go to church together. And I'm sorry, Jenna's recruit's getting ready to sign up. Sorry.
Number 5.
She did nothing. She didn't tell me to invite people. She didn't say this is what we're going to do. She didn't say this is what time we'll show up. I mean, she did nothing but show up at my house.
And how did the show?
Well, I knew you knew what to do because you still pamper chef. And I'm like, but that's not the point.
That's right. So how was the show?
Oh, it was good.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah, because I did know what to do.
And I will tell you, I had the same experience. I have a friend that sold Initials Inc., and I was doing a show for her. And the day before the show, I texted her. I said, "Are you coming to my house tomorrow? I've not heard a peep from you." "Oh, yeah, I'm coming. I'll be there." So when she walked in my door, I said, "Could I give you a little advice? Have you ever heard the term host coaching?" She said, "I knew you were going to fuss with me." But guys, it really is important. If you have ever walked in a host house that you have not talked to and have built that relationship with, it feels very uncomfortable. You feel like you're walking into a stranger's house. But if you are doing a great job of coaching that host and partnering with that host, you're walking into a friend's house. And you two just get along and you work very well to make that a great experience. So remember, it's your job to be sure that that show, whether it's virtual, catalog, cooking, whatever kind of show it is, wedding, shower, fundraiser, that you do your job to make that experience great for everybody. because you have the power to do that. So that's what host coaching is all about. I'm going to recommend to each and every one of you that all of your shows that you are reaching out on a regular basis to your host, keeping them excited, helping them stay focused on their goals and what they want to get. So all these shows that you're going to book this week, because all of you have some pretty amazing goals for the next month, all these shows you're going to book this week, stay in touch with this host and make sure that you are doing your coaching. All right, so homework this week. Number 1 is your 10 mini catalogs, whether you're doing that virtually or giving them out in person, and you're making sure that you're following up with those people. Number 2 is your 20 two-way contacts, and that you're tracking that and keeping up with your results. Number 3 is that you get halfway to your goal by the end of this week. And shoot me a message and let me know every time you get a show on your calendar, because I want to celebrate that with you. And then I'm going to share a recording that I would like for y'all to listen to on host coaching. Just a little bit more information on how you can host coach and make sure that all those shows are the best that they can be. Because how many of you would like to have all $1,000 shows? Wouldn't that be nice?
Mhm.
Yes, it feels good when you do that. So that is our goal for all of you, is that those shows, every one of them is a $1,000 show. And you are walking away with new bookings on your calendar. You're walking away with potential team members, and you are building that business that's going to keep on keeping up. So I will share that recording, but make sure that you get your homework done this week and that you have a one-on-one conversation with your director for next week's call. And next Tuesday, we will be talking about,